Ella needed to breathe. Los Angeles had lost its magic for her. The lights that once felt like dreams now felt like noise, endless, restless, and heavy. She had just come out of a tiring breakup, and everything around her reminded her of what she had lost. The city that never slept suddenly felt like it was asleep to her pain. So one Friday evening, while staring out of her apartment window, she messaged her best friend Mark. "Let's go somewhere, anywhere, I need to get out." Mark was quiet, dependable, and the kind of person who always showed up when the world didn't. He had secretly loved Ella for years, but never told her. She had always seen him as her calm, her safety, her person, but not yet as her love. Still, when her message came, he smiled and replied, "Pack your bag. I'll pick you up in the morning." At sunrise, Mark pulled up in his old convertible. The smell of sea salt was already in the air. "Where are we going?" Ella asked, throwing her small suitcase in the back. "North," he said with a grin. "We'll follow the coast until the road ends." The Pacific Coast Highway stretched before them, miles of endless ocean on one side and golden cliffs on the other. The wind played with Ella's hair as she leaned back, letting her hand ride the air. Mark watched her from the corner of his eye, thinking how even in silence she was poetry. They talked for hours about everything and nothing, about their favorite songs, their fears, their dreams. Mark made her laugh again, really laugh, for the first time in months. And each time she smiled, he felt something healing inside him too. By late afternoon, they stopped at a quiet cliffside cafe overlooking the ocean. The sky was painted in pinks and oranges. They sat on a bench, sipping coffee, watching the waves crash far below. Ella whispered, "I miss this. Not this view, but this peace." Mark looked at her and said softly, "Peace looks good on you." She turned to him and smiled, her eyes shining with something new, something she could not name yet. When they got back to the car, a gentle rain started to fall. Mark rolled up the windows, turned on her favorite song, and kept driving. The rhythm of the rain against the windshield mixed with the music, creating a memory neither of them would forget. By nightfall, they reached a small coastal town, quiet, sleepy, and magical in its simplicity. The streets were empty, the shops closed, and the air smelled of wet sand. They found a small motel with a flickering vacancy sign and checked in. After dropping their bags, they walked barefoot on the beach. The world felt slowed down, just the sound of the waves and their footsteps. "Mark," Ella said after a while, her voice trembling slightly, "I used to think love was supposed to be fireworks and noise. But maybe it's this, quiet, real, and steady." Mark turned toward her. "Maybe love is the peace that comes after the noise." Their eyes met. For a long second, the world disappeared, just two souls standing under a sky full of stars. Then softly, naturally, he leaned forward and she met him halfway. Their lips touched in a gentle, unspoken promise, not rushed, not forced, but filled with years of friendship and unspoken love. It was not just a kiss. It was a beginning. The next morning, the air felt lighter. They had breakfast at a small seaside diner. She teased him about his messy hair. He teased her about her coffee obsession. But beneath the laughter, there was a warmth that felt brand new. On their drive back, they stopped often, taking pictures, singing along to old songs, buying ice cream from roadside stands. Every mile brought them closer, not to a destination, but to each other. Ella rested her head on his shoulder as they drove through the winding roads. "Do you think this will fade when we go back?" she asked softly. Mark shook his head. "No, Ella, this drive, it changed everything. Maybe we were just waiting for the right road to find us?" She smiled, closed her eyes, and whispered, "Then promise me we'll never stop driving." "I promise," he said, squeezing her hand. "Every road, every sunset, every tomorrow, I'll drive them all with you." A year later, on the same weekend, Mark surprised Ella with a new trip. But this time, he drove her to a rooftop overlooking Los Angeles, the city they once wanted to escape. The skyline sparkled like scattered diamonds. He handed her a small key and said, "This opens the trunk of my car. There's something inside." Inside, she found a framed photo of their first trip, the ocean behind them, wind in their hair, smiles brighter than the sun. Below it, engraved on the frame, were the words, "Our forever starts on the road we took." Tears filled her eyes as she turned back to him. Mark smiled and said, "We may have left the road behind, but the journey never ended." She hugged him tightly and whispered, "Thank you for driving into my life." Under the city lights, they kissed again, this time. Not as friends, not as travelers, but as soulmates who had found home in each other. Because sometimes love does not arrive with grand plans or perfect timing. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the hum of an engine, in a shared laugh, in the wind between two hearts that finally find the same road. And that road never ends.